the post-fight press conference, right, the question was asked how Andy Ruiz's life was going to change. I forget the exact question. And looking back at that, I can remember I saw your eyes kind of well up. You got emotional.
Yeah.
What were the emotions for you?
A lot of emotions for everyone. I mean, just imagine winning, being part of history. Part of making history, me as a coach having training and working with the first Mexican American heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, if that doesn't give you the chills itself, then I don't know what would. Especially being in part of boxing, part of this great sport. And I mean, I'm just blessed. I'm blessed to be here, and I'm blessed to have be in New York City for the press conference. And like Eddie Hearn said, the biggest fight in boxing. This might be the biggest fight in heavyweight history.
And for you on a personal level, somebody that's invested your entire life into this sport, to finally get to the moment where you've arrived as a head trainer, what's that feel like?
I mean, it feels great, man. I mean, it's just like I've had other world champions. I've worked with other world champions. I've been involved in boxing my entire life. My dad probably the thing that touched me the most the night when we won the world title is not being able to celebrate the victory with my father. Because at the end of the day, my dad was also a very well-known coach. He brought me into boxing as an amateur, as a pro. Eventually, I came under his wing as an assistant coach, and I lived a lot of. We had a lot of great victories together. But those were my dad's. Those were my. That was all my dad. You know what I mean? So for me to have the first Mexican American heavyweight champion. To me, it was very meaningful, and not obviously the thing about not having my dad by my side. Obviously, it was very touching. It was something very emotional for me because if it wasn't for my pops, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be standing right here right now if he wasn't the one, walking me into the gym for the first time and teaching me this great sport like a lot of fathers do, like a lot of dads do with their kids, you know what I mean? And taking them to the football for the first time, the football field, the baseball field, or boxing or whatever the case may be. I mean, I owe a lot of that credit goes to my dad, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here, as I said.
Were you able to take some time apart? And I don't know what you do, but pray, meditate?
Yeah, absolutely. The reason why I'm here is a man without faith, is a lost cause. So, obviously, I have faith, and we have faith, and we believe in God. We have faith, and we pray together, and we work hard, and obviously the most important thing is my family, my wife, my kids. I do everything for them. Whatever success I have, I share with my family. Obviously, my after the victory, I'm happy to say that my wife and my kids were there. So obviously after the win, they all cried, and immediately after the fight, my wife was crying. My son, my daughters. And then and it was so meaningful to me meeting them after the fight back at the hotel, and we embraced, we cried, we laughed, and we just enjoyed the victory, and it was just very, very emotional for me.
One last question: Is there any way that the win in the second fight, that victory could be just as sweet as the first one? Could it compare to the first one?
Yeah. I mean, nothing will ever compare to the first one. Obviously, the first fight will always be, or having, there might be a second Mexican, third, fourth, fifth Mexican heavyweight champion, but having the first is obviously, and the same thing with the fight. I mean, I'm sure it'll be just as special, walking away with the victory, but just the first fight, it will always be the special one. Why? Because that's when nobody believed in us. You got all these people, nobody believed in us. The media sure did believe in us. The majority of the fans didn't believe in us. So we proved the world wrong. So I think that we still have, now we have more people on our side. Obviously, the media knows that Andy can fight, what he's capable of doing, and so do the fans. So I'm telling you, it'll be a great fight this second time around. If you ask me, it might be better than the first fight. But yeah, will it have a bigger significance than the first fight? No.
Coach, I thank you. Is there anything you want to tell the fans?
No, just to keep Continue to do what you do. You know, be supportive of being supportive of the boxers, not just Andy and Anthony Joshua, but boxing itself. You know, you got to understand that boxers, every time they step in the ring, they're putting their lives on the line. This is no game. This is not a joke. This isn't, you know, this is, you can't play boxing. So again, for the fans out there to be supportive and respectful towards boxers, because they're putting their lives on the line.
Coach, I appreciate
Thank you.
the time. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.